Imagine unlocking a secret that makes your garden explode with life, all from your kitchen scraps. You might think composting takes forever, but I'm about to show you how a simple tool can revolutionize your bins and give you nutrient-rich soil in record time. What if I told you your beginner compost tumbler is capable of so much more than you realize? Today we're diving deep into the magic behind supercharging your compost, transforming it from a slow-moving pile into a composting powerhouse that delivers incredible results with surprising speed and efficiency. Welcome to the world of faster composting. If you're tired of dealing with messy compost piles that attract pests and create unsightly corners in your garden, a tumbler is your game changer. Unlike traditional composting methods that can take 6 months to 2 years, a well-managed tumbler can produce finished compost in just 6 to 8 weeks. This enclosed system creates the perfect environment for beneficial microorganisms to thrive while keeping unwanted visitors like rats, raccoons, and flies at bay. The immediate benefits extend far beyond speed. Your tumbler acts as a fortress against odors, containing the decomposition process within its walls and preventing that unpleasant smell from wafting through your neighborhood. For urban gardeners working with limited space, tumblers are absolutely revolutionary. They occupy minimal ground space while maximizing composting capacity, making them perfect for patios, small backyards, or even balconies. Setting up your tumbler correctly from day one really determines your long-term success. You want to position it in a location that receives partial sunlight, since heat helps accelerate decomposition, but be sure to avoid that scorching afternoon sun which, honestly, can dry out your materials way too quickly. Make sure you have easy access for regular turning and adding materials. Placing it near your kitchen door if you can will definitely encourage more consistent use. A level surface is also important since it prevents wobbling during rotation and, extends the life of your tumbler's mechanisms. Understanding the relationship between greens and browns really transforms your composting from guesswork into science. Greens are nitrogen-rich materials that fuel microbial activity. Think kitchen scraps like fruit peels, vegetable trimmings, coffee grounds, and even fresh grass clippings. Browns provide carbon, creating structure and absorbing excess moisture. These include things like dried leaves, shredded newspaper, cardboard, sawdust, and dried plant materials from your garden. The magic happens when you achieve the ideal carbon-to-nitrogen ratio of approximately 30:1, but don't worry about complex calculations. Visual cues make this simple. Just aim for roughly 3 parts brown materials to 1 part green materials by volume. Shredding and sizing your materials dramatically accelerates the decomposition process. Smaller pieces provide more surface area for microorganisms to work their magic, preventing large chunks from creating air pockets that slow down the process. Tear up cardboard into strips, chop vegetable scraps into smaller pieces, and break up large branches before adding them to your tumbler. This simple step can reduce your composting time by weeks, and prevents frustrating clumping that creates anaerobic pockets within your mix. Moisture control, honestly, is what separates successful composters from frustrated beginners. Your compost should feel like a wrung-out sponge, moist, but not dripping wet. The squeeze test is your best friend here. Just grab a handful of your compost mix and squeeze it firmly. It should hold together briefly before crumbling apart, with maybe 1 or 2 drops of water showing up between your fingers. This perfect moisture level really creates an ideal environment for aerobic decomposition, where all those beneficial bacteria and fungi can thrive. Strategic water addition becomes crucial during dry spells or, when your brown materials are dominating the mix. Add water gradually while turning your tumbler so the moisture distributes evenly throughout the materials. You might want to consider collecting rainwater for this purpose since it's free of chlorine and other chemicals that could inhibit beneficial microorganisms. And during the winter months, you might need to add warm water to maintain microbial activity and prevent your compost from going dormant. Oxygen flow determines whether your tumbler becomes a composting powerhouse or, just a stagnant mess. Most beginners either turn too frequently, which disrupts the heating process, or too infrequently, and that allows anaerobic conditions to develop. The sweet spot for most tumblers is every 3 to 4 days, providing enough oxygen to fuel aerobic decomposition while allowing heat to build up between turnings. Listen to your compost and watch for visual cues that indicate turning time. When you open your tumbler, the materials should feel warm to the touch and might even steam a bit on cool mornings. This heat generation signals active decomposition, and regular turning helps maintain this beneficial process. Double-chamber tumblers offer honestly the ultimate advantage for continuous composting. While one chamber finishes its decomposition cycle, you can start filling the second chamber with fresh materials. This system ensures a steady supply of finished compost while keeping optimal conditions in each chamber. Single-chamber users can achieve similar results by dividing their tumbler into sections or practicing batch composting, allowing one complete batch to finish before starting the next. Recognizing finished compost prevents premature harvesting and ensures maximum nutrient content. Your black gold should be dark brown to black in color, with an earthy forest floor smell that's pleasant rather than offensive. Individual materials should be unrecognizable, having transformed into a crumbly soil-like texture that feels rich between your fingers. Finished compost maintains consistent moisture and temperature, no longer generating the heat associated with active decomposition. Harvesting becomes effortless with proper planning. Many tumblers include removable panels or sliding doors that allow easy access to finished compost. Screen your compost through a half-inch mesh to separate any remaining large pieces, which can be returned to your tumbler to continue decomposing. The finished product can be used immediately or stored in breathable containers for future use. Your newly created compost supercharges plant growth in multiple ways. Mix it into garden beds as a soil amendment, use it as a top dressing around established plants, or create a nutrient-rich potting mix by combining it with existing soil. This black gold improved soil structure retains moisture, provides slow-release nutrients, and introduces beneficial microorganisms that support plant health throughout the growing season. Ready to transform your garden with composting magic? Subscribe to Smart Garden for more game-changing tips that turn ordinary gardeners into composting champions. And don't forget to share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to supercharge their growing success.